Yeah, she looked at me like, this black bitch. Did she just challenge me in my knowledge of the medical field? Yes, I did. I did my research prior to asking you these questions. Back to the Indian doctor, who I chose after I fired the white male doctor because he thought I was incompetent regarding the surgical procedures they could perform. He made it seem like, oh, we only do hysterectomies. So are you not competent to do any other surgeries? We can do it, but they're far more complicated, and we just prefer hysterectomies. So that's why I went to the female Indian doctor. Okay, she's a lady. She knows about the body. And she may be more sympathetic. Honey child, she did not crack a smile. She was not friendly when I first met her. She was very blunt, and she looked at me up and down like, Well, at the same time, she told me, you need a glucose count because you're obese. With her teenage boy body and her masculine demeanor. Like, okay. So I went and took one, and I was borderline. Not diabetic, but I was borderline. And she told me, no, we only do hysterectomies for fibroids. Like, really? So you're going to take my whole uterus out? Because at the time, my fibroids were not huge. I just had a bunch of little ones and medium-sized ones. So you're going to take my whole uterus out because it's easier for you and the network than trying to teach me about other options. Like, come on now. Some of us do research before we ask you these questions. So I did my research like I did with the prior doctor. No, because you have these other three options to get rid of my fibroids. Well, yeah, but usually we go with the hysterectomy because it's easier. Easier for who? Like, so you want to take out my whole uterus and my cervix because you don't want to take the time to get rid of these fibroids? So, but that was in 2000, maybe 20. So last year, I realized they were big, like 20 weeks pregnant. Like I was 20 weeks pregnant. And they couldn't do the simple vagina cut. So maybe that was a blessing because those doctors, whew. And I was like, so why are doctors on a bandwagon about giving women hysterectomies? Like, just for fun? I was like, I'm not doing hysterectomy just for the fun of it, just because that's the thing to do. She looked at me like, no, this black bitch didn't say that to me. I said, is this some fad that you have going on inside the doctor's union? I'm like, is this some kind of fad? Like, she looked at me, black bitch. I looked at her. I asked you a question. She looked at me, black bitch. I looked at her. I asked you a question. Answer me. So we just stared each other down. And then she's like, well, I can give you some more information on it. Well, I already have information on it. But you telling me that your network prefers hysterectomies. Well, this is my body, and I don't want a hysterectomy. She looked at me again like, black bitch. I looked at her like, boy body. She looked at me like, if I can only choke you. I looked at her like, yeah, I did my research. And at the same time, I'm thinking, I don't want her to do any kind of surgery on me. Because I asked her, who would be my surgeons? Me, and she named the other doctor I fired. Nope, I don't want you, none of y'all touching my body. Yeah. So, then, I tolerated her for one more year. I was like, dang, because I meant to look for another doctor. But then my yearly appointment came up, and prayed over it. I was like, okay, let me tolerate her one more time. But then when I called to make my appointment, oh, she won't be in this week. We can set you up with Misty. I'm like, oh, okay. She's a new nurse practitioner. Okay. Bingo. That was my lucky day. Because she was this kind, white lady that showed compassion. She was just very different from the other MDs I saw. And I saw her a couple of years, and then she left. Then last year, 2022, I tried to make an appointment, and then they told me she was gone. But they had another nurse practitioner who was good, and I really like her. They were right. I really did like her. She was another white lady who showed compassion. So I'm saying the colors of these doctors, because some black people are like, get a doctor of color. We need more representation. Yeah, I believe that. I think that's true. But I'm not going to deal with any doctor of color if they don't treat you right. If they act like, I don't want to treat her. I don't have time to do surgery on her. If they don't treat you right, I'm not going to just keep you because you're black. Like, no. I know there's very few of us in the medical field, but I'm not just going to keep you because we're the same color. I need a doctor that's competent, a doctor that cares about me and my health, and a doctor that listens. Oh, get this. When I went for my pre-op with the African female doctor that I was paired with, I didn't choose her. Week before my surgery, before my canceled surgery that she took up on herself to cancel a week before, the procedure was supposed to be done on me. I was waiting in the lobby. I was signed in. I heard somebody coughing, sneezing. I was like, man. I was like, we still dealing with COVID. They let a patient back there with all that crap going on. coughing out loud, not covering her mouth, sneezing, sniffing. Dang. Okay. So when I went back there, it was a surgeon doing all that. I was like, oh. So they're monitoring the patients going on, coming in here with COVID signs, but they just let the doctors come in here sick, coughing and hacking and sniffing. And that was a week before she was supposed to do my surgery. So I say this all the time. The Lord works in mysterious ways. She would have been coughing and hacking all over me, blowing her nose. Like, yeah, that's gross. So why is she talking about it won't be ethical of me not to see you during your post-op appointment? Is that ethical of you to be coughing and hacking and sneezing while COVID is going on and still seeing patients? Like, come on now. So I just had to say this is because it was on my mind, because I forgot to say it in the previous segment, which was yesterday. If you want to see what I'm talking about, because I just did this segment out of the blue, listen to the segment I did yesterday on February 15th. Thanks for listening. Until then, take care of your health and fire those doctors as needed.